stylish football.
Yeah.
That was decades, well, not decades ago, but that was 10, 15, 20 years ago. We haven't had a team like that. I suppose maybe Potch's first 2 or 3 years that they did play lovely, attractive football and high-pressure football, but it delivered nothing.
Yeah.
I think we've got a better George Graham now.
We've got a better him.
We've got a better George Graham in charge.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That's where we're going back to. With his style of football, we're going to win 1-0. We're not going to concede a goal. I think that's what Jose is going to set out.
The thing is, though, when Jose won the Premier League with Chelsea last time, he had 5 1-0 wins. I think the other games all had like 3 goals in them. So, right. He's not as negative as he's portrayed by
media.
all that. Yeah, it's just that general perception that he's very negative.
Yeah.
And I think with Højbjerg coming in, I think there's going to be a lot more balance to the side, and there's going to be the ability to keep the ball. But we won't play the possession game as much. But then I don't really care.
I don't care either. No.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm 20 years waiting for a trophy.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less if I travelled over for 12 hours from home over to a match and it was a boring 1-0 and it meant us winning the trophy. I'd gladly take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, most trophy wins, the finals are boring.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at football since it restarted, since the lockdowns and whatnot, I'd say you could probably pick 1 or 2 games that were good.
Yeah.
That was it.
I agree.
That was it. The rest were just shocking.
Yeah.
I know that no crowds and whatnot. The atmosphere does have an awful lot to do with it. The crowds do have an awful lot to do with it. But going back to my original point, I'll happily take 1-0's boring all day long to see Spurs lift. Premier League, I can't see that happening, to be totally honest. But to see him lift maybe the Europa League or the FA Cup, I'd even take what's it called now? The Worthington Cup, or is it the Carling Cup? Or
is it Carabao?
Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup. Yeah.
So,
do you know what? I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
Carabao Cup and a top 4, I think, would be.
Yeah.
I think that's the minimum.
Starting point.
I think that's the minimum.
Starting point.
But that's the thing. I mean, people forget this. That, and again, I'm going. When we were speaking on the Zoom sessions to the former players, every single one of them were saying, what kind of pushed us on was our first trophy. Our first trophy made us think, right, we can actually win a trophy.
Yeah.
Push for it next year again. Now this mental block of semi-finals and everything is gone. Push on for next season. And that was what... And it could be just a small trophy, but except for the Audi Cup, that didn't push us on. No, I thought it would.
There's no doubt that Jose would have won one of those semi-finals that Poch had us in. Without a doubt.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt.
And probably
that's
the
not
final.
Knocking Poch. It's not, but I think we would have, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not being funny, but when you're playing Son left wing back in the semi-final,
that was crazy.
It's a recipe for a disaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
So fuck knows what's going on there, but it is what it is. He's gone, and we look forward and we look onwards and upwards. And
in those sort of things, in those sort of situations, you live and die by your decisions. So if we played that game and like didn't make any mistakes and won it, then all of a sudden Pochettino looks like a genius. It's a master stroke. It's a tactical change that the other team weren't expecting, and it put us on the offensive when we're in possession, and therefore it looks like genius. So you kind of live and die by your decisions, and like hopefully like he learns from that, and he just as a manager or as a coach or whatever he develops, like the players that he had underneath him, he needs to go and experience winning. I think. Yeah. Once he wins, then he'll be the better for that, and he'll know in terms of decision making, for example, not to necessarily show sentiment to Michel Vaughan when we've got to an FA Cup semi-final or whatever, but when we're playing against one of the top teams in the league, because actually, our number one keeper is one of the best keepers in the league. So, there's no room in that level. There's no kind of room for sentiment. So hopefully,
Well, it was the same when he started. I don't think he should. No, look, I've been criticised for this, but I don't think he should have started Harry in the Champions League final. I don't think he should have. I thought that was an error on his behalf. But again, like you were saying, Steve, if it worked, if Harry got 2 goals, masterstroke. So it's
exactly. And if if we won the final, everyone would go like, do you know what? It was brave putting him in, but fucking hell, like Kane scored. He's banged one. He assisted another. He's known as the best English striker. Probably one of the top 3 or 4 in the world, and all this sort of stuff. And therefore, he has to play. It's only because we lose that everyone will go, well, actually, he shouldn't have started him. And there's, I didn't think I think it was the season before, because Harry always has a long period out in the season, and he came back and he looked unfit. He played, I can't remember, 7-8 games at the end of the season, looked unfit, but he was scoring. And I'm saying to the guy sat next to me, I said, fuck it, Harry Kane, like, he shouldn't leave me playing. Bang, he's put one in. And he nudges me and go, like, you don't know what you're chatting about. I said, well, I do, because actually he still looks unfit, even though he's put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
We're flogging a dead horse because we don't have any other options. And, so I'm kind of with you there, Paddy, on the fact that, like, I probably shouldn't have started him, but I'm not going to persecute. I wasn't going to persecute him for the fact that he didn't start him, because if I was in his position, I would have started Harry Kane.
I think most people would. Yeah. I think Jose wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he would actually. Yeah, I think he would. And again, it's again around the end result. So it's interesting because everyone's kind of said about Mourinho and. Who was it? Was it Charlie Nicholas or some idiot? I can't remember. Who was saying that Kane won't score goals under Mourinho, and obviously the break's done him. Like the break did him good and did the team good, but he's looked so much stronger and fitter, faster than than we've seen him coming back from injuries in the past, and getting from box to box and just looking like a...
I think also the other factor as well is that at the end of last season, we were playing badly then. The latter half of last season was as bad as the start of this season. So, there's all that mental problems with the players. They've, there's just there was something wrong there, and you do wonder. It's not a case of whether Poch lost the dressing room. It was more of a case of, is everybody really believing in this anymore? And I just felt it was just falling apart, and probably it was falling apart much before that, but it just kind of tapers off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Start of 2019. It was.
Yeah.
To me, the start of 2019 was falling apart.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So so enough looking back. Let's look forward. So I think it was already mentioned. So we managed to sign Højbjerg. Thoughts on that signing? I think, Andy, you mentioned that you thought it was going to, in terms of balance, it's a good signing.
Yeah, I thought in terms of balance, because the elephant in the room is Dembele. So what do we do? Do we play?
That's a bit harsh. He's lost a lot of weight recently, mate.
Yeah.
Call him an elephant on live on air.
Are you saying elephants are fat?
They're never very small, are they? But
I think that's a bit harsh with him.
Yeah. I just think that
Andy, carry on.
Yeah, I will. I just think that with Højbjerg there, not Hodgberg or whatever he's being called, he's going to free up. Odd job. Thanks, Jamie. He's going to free up our midfield players. So Lo Celso is going to be able to get a bit forward. Maybe Tanguy can get on the pitch and do a bit more. But more importantly, we're going to have someone shielding our back four. And our whole defence over about the last 2 years has lost confidence, and it needs to rebuild that confidence. And once you get that confidence back, you're going to play better football. You're going to get better results, and other teams are going to be more scared of you because you are getting more results and you're more confident.
I agree. Have you? I mean, did you listen to his interview? Did you see his interview?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Loved it. I've commented on it tonight. It's probably the best one I've heard.
Yeah.
New player.
brilliant. Great. Like he seems to have a great mentality, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He looks like captain material.
Yeah.
It's like a cog.
He's like a cog. Well, I'm going to go Hugo. I think he's going to rely on Eric Dyer. He's going to be at the back with Hugo. I don't think Davison's going to get a look in, but that's my opinion. I think he's going to stick with Eric Dyer. And then you've got Pierre in front of him. And then Harry Kane up front and Son. I think there's a core that he's trying to build of pure winners.
Is that a five-a-side team, mate? So we're just playing a five-a-side football now?
Well, no.
This is the spine, isn't it?
It's a spine. The spine. Yeah. Everyone has a spine in their side. And I think we've been missing... Since Dembele left...
We've missed that.
We haven't looked the same in midfield.
No.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Pierre can bring that to us.
Yeah.
That requirement to get a spine in was something that was re-established, I think, under Martin Jol, where he looked at having a spine through the middle of the team and building from there. So, it's good that that's something that I think is Mourinho's focus. Jamie, what did you think of Oddjob coming in, as you like to label him?
I think it's a decent signing. I mean, obviously, he went under the radar at Southampton, but central defensive midfielders do. It's not a sexy position. It's not a flair position. They just do what they do. They anticipate. They break up play. They, protect the back four, essentially. It's just like, we've obviously lacked that position since Wanyama got his knees were knackered. Dembele's gone, and it's clearly been a position that we've been sorely lacking. But I think the difference we're going to see next is short term. You've got no support there or anything like that.
Do you remember? Sorry, Jamie. Do you remember when Jan was on the pod, Andy, and he used to come out, and he used to come out with bollocks like this, where he used to liken this to that situation and that to this situation, and just go off at a total tangent that you just wondered where it was going to. Jamie, I cut you off there because I wanted to really talk about this. Because
that's what he does.
Boxes? Come on, finish the boxes. I want to know.
I want to talk about the serious point that you wanted to raise. Because Højbjerg was. Højbjerg was announced as wearing the number 5, and there was a general shitstorm, as usual, as to the fact that he was wearing Jan's old number. I think mainly starting by the fact that Jan kind of put up this sentimental tweet going, I can't believe this. It's going to be odd watching someone else wearing my number 5, and like. Jamie, you took on all comers on Twitter when this tweet went out. So, what were your thoughts on the fact that Oddjob's got Jan's number 5 shirt, mate?
I'm not really bothered. It's just a number, isn't it? Players move on. Who gives a fuck if Oddjob's got the number 5? We had the arguments coming back saying, well, a number 5 is a centre back position, but in the current, I suppose, football world, we've got numbers going up to 75, 89, 464. I don't think numbers really fucking matter anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I agree. Get rid of maths. Totally.
Exactly.
Totally.
Who needs it?
So I take your point. From my, I know that obviously I think 26. We haven't used 26 again since Ledley stopped using it, and from King's perspective, I guess he was perceived as he's a club legend because he's a one club man. And I kind of understand the sentiment of in that respect. I mean, he's given his whole career to the club. In terms of other numbers,